Have you ever looked at the sky and wondered who you truly are? Have you ever felt like your dreams are too big, your English is not perfect, and your life is too simple to create any impact in this world? Today, I want you to imagine a small boy living more than 2,400 years ago. No phones, no Google, no great schools filled with technology. Just a little mind full of questions, a little heart full of curiosity, and a world that did not care about his dreams. This boy did not come from a powerful royal family. He did not have money and fame. But he had one thing, the courage to ask, why? And that courage made him one of the greatest thinkers the world has ever known. His name is Aristotle, and his story will show you something very important. You do not need to be perfect to change the world. You just need to stay curious, stay brave, and believe that you can learn anything. Aristotle was born in a small Greek town called Stagira. His father was a doctor, a personal physician for the royal family of Macedon. This means that Aristotle grew up seeing the mysteries of life very closely. Medicines, human bodies, illnesses, and healing. These were the first lessons that shaped his young mind. Where other children played and forgot, Aristotle observed and remembered. He wanted to understand everything. When a bird flew in the sky, he wanted to know why its wings made it lift. When a plant grew from the ground, he wanted to know what gave it life. When people laughed or cried, he wanted to know what feelings really were. His father taught him something simple yet powerful. Everything has a reason, and if we look carefully, we can find it. Those words became a fire inside Aristotle, a fire that never stopped burning. Life changed early for him. When he was still young, both of his parents died. Imagine a small boy, full of curiosity but suddenly alone, without parents to guide him. Many people in life stop growing when they lose support, but Aristotle decided to keep learning. His love for knowledge became his new family. He left his home and traveled to the biggest center of knowledge in Greece, Athens. At that time, Athens was the heart of education. Philosophers walked the streets, teachers discussed ideas. The city was alive with thinking. Aristotle had finally reached the place where his questions could find answers. In Athens, he joined the famous Academy of Plato, one of the smartest men ever known. Imagine walking into a school where everyone is curious like you, where questions are not seen as trouble but as treasures. Aristotle studied there for almost 20 years. He learned about science, logic, writing, mathematics, ethics, politics, everything. But he was not a silent student. He challenged ideas. Even Plato's ideas. He learned to think differently. He learned that it is okay to disagree, as long as you respect the truth. Aristotle believed that knowledge is not just something you read in a book. Knowledge must connect to real life. It must help people live better. He once said, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." And that belief made him special. Years passed, and Aristotle became a teacher himself. But he did not want students to just listen. He wanted them to discover. So he used a special method. Ask questions, observe life, test ideas. He believed that every answer must come from reality. If you want to understand birds, go outside and study birds. If you want to understand happiness, observe how people live. If you want to understand the world, do not just sit in a room, explore the world itself. During this time, something amazing happened. The king of Macedon asked Aristotle to teach his young son, a boy named Alexander. Aristotle accepted, and he became the mentor of the boy who later became Alexander the Great, one of the most powerful rulers in history. Imagine how strong Aristotle's knowledge must have been, not just to teach history, but to shape it. He taught Alexander about leadership, responsibility, and how to think before fighting. A great teacher does not just give knowledge. A great teacher shapes the future. Aristotle later returned to Athens to start his own school called the Lyceum. It was not just a school, it was a living laboratory. He and his students walked together and discussed ideas. They wrote books, studied animals, planets, government systems, weather, language, everything. One man, one mind, searching for truth in everything around him. That is why Aristotle is called the father of science, the father of logic, and even the father of Western philosophy, because he did not close his mind to one subject, he opened it to all. Aristotle believed something very powerful. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. He taught that greatness does not come from talent alone. Greatness comes from daily practice, from small steps, from learning every day, even when nobody sees your effort. And isn't that what you are doing right now? Learning English, listening carefully, trying to improve every single day. That is what Aristotle would call excellence. His ideas became seeds. These seeds grew into science, psychology, politics, ethics, biology, almost every field of human knowledge. His work continued long after he died. He left behind writings that guided the world for thousands of years. His curiosity became our knowledge. His questions became our answers. And his courage to learn shaped the future of humanity. Life lesson. So what can we learn from Aristotle today? You do not need to be born rich to succeed. You do not need perfect English to start learning. You do not need a golden chance to change your life. You just need curiosity. You just need patience. You just need to believe that every day is a chance to become better. You must continue learning, no matter what. Part 2. As Aristotle grew older, his mind grew even stronger. He spent his life asking questions that many people were too afraid to ask. Questions like, what is the purpose of life? What makes a person good or bad? Why do some people feel happy and others feel lost inside their own hearts? He believed that life is a journey of learning. He taught that every single person has a gift, something unique that makes them special. But most people never discover that gift because they are too busy comparing themselves to others. Aristotle encouraged people to look inside themselves and find their own power. He said that the highest purpose of life is to become the best version of yourself, step by step, choice by choice. Aristotle had a powerful idea called the golden mean. It means balance. He believed that a good life is not found in extremes. Not too much fear, not too much courage, not too much laziness, not too much work, not too much sadness, not too much excitement. Real happiness lives in balance when we manage our life with wisdom. For example, if you speak too little, people will not hear you, but if you speak too much, people will not listen to you. So speak clearly, with confidence, at the right time. This idea helped people understand themselves, and it still guides the world today. Because life is not just about success, it is about living with harmony. Aristotle also studied government and society. He said that a country can only grow when its people grow. A society becomes better when its citizens become wiser. He believed that education is the heart of a nation. Without education, darkness rules. With education, light spreads. Isn't that true even today? If we want a better world, we must first become better people. If we want respect, we must learn to respect others. Aristotle showed that knowledge is not power unless we use it kindly. But Aristotle's life was not always easy. After the death of Alexander the Great, people in Athens began to fear foreigners. They accused Aristotle of not loving Athens enough, just because he came from another city. Lies and politics surrounded him, and he knew that if he stayed, he might face danger. So he left Athens and said something powerful. I will not allow the city to sin twice against philosophy. He was talking about what happened to his teacher, Plato's teacher Socrates, who was killed by Athens for speaking the truth. Even in difficult times, Aristotle protected wisdom. He chose peace over revenge. He chose safety over pride. Because sometimes walking away is not weakness, it is wisdom. Aristotle spent his final years writing and teaching in a more quiet place. His health weakened, but his mind stayed bright like a star. Before he died, he left the world with one last message: wonder is the beginning of wisdom. And that sentence explains his entire life. He believed that every big discovery starts with a small question. Every strong person starts as a curious child. Everyone you admire today was once a beginner just like you. Imagine a world without Aristotle. We would not have science in the same way. We would not understand logic clearly. We would not study animals or humans scientifically. We would not have the foundation that helped thousands of scientists, doctors, writers, teachers, and leaders grow. His ideas became the building blocks of modern knowledge. He proved that one mind, one voice, one dream can change not just a city or a country, but the whole planet. Now think about yourself. Maybe your English is not perfect yet. Maybe people around you laugh at your dreams. Maybe your world feels small. But Aristotle teaches you something. Your world grows when your mind grows. If you keep learning every day, if you stay hungry for knowledge, if you trust your own questions, then one day you will stand in a place where others will look at you and ask, "How did you reach so far?" Let me teach you a few simple English sentences inspired by Aristotle. Repeat after me slowly. 1. I am learning every day. 2. My questions make me stronger. 3. Excellence is my habit. 4. I can improve my life with knowledge. Aristotle's story tells us that life is not a race. It is a process. It is a path. The people who win are the ones who don't stop walking, even if the road is difficult, even if the journey feels slow, even if no one is watching. Because success does not happen in one day. It happens daily, silently. With every step you take, you who are listening right now are already on the right path. You chose learning. You chose growth. You chose English, a language that connects you to the world. And as you learn new words, new ideas, new stories, your world becomes bigger. Your future becomes brighter. And your voice becomes stronger. So remember Aristotle every time you feel small. He began as a simple boy with no parents, a child full of questions, and he left as one of the greatest teachers who ever lived. If he could rise from small beginnings, so can you. Part 3. Aristotle said something beautiful. Happiness depends upon ourselves. He believed that happiness is not a gift someone gives you. Happiness is a skill you learn and practice. Just like English, just like confidence, just like success. He taught that every person has a purpose, something they are born to do. But to find that purpose, we must listen to our hearts and think with our minds. We must take responsibility for our choices. If we make good choices, our life grows. If we make bad choices, our life becomes smaller. So every morning when you wake up, you are holding the pen of your story. And every decision you make is a sentence in that story. Aristotle believed that thinking is the greatest human power. When we control our thoughts, we control our future. Negative thoughts make our world dark. Positive thoughts make our world bright. So he taught his students to think clearly, to question everything, and to never accept something as true without understanding it. This idea created critical thinking, the foundation of education all around the world today. Every time you ask why, every time you try to understand something, instead of memorizing it, every time you choose logic over fear, you are thinking like Aristotle. Aristotle did not just study humans. He studied animals, plants, stars, oceans, everything in nature. He wrote more than 200 books, and about 31 of them still survive. In his writings, he described the behavior of birds, the movement of fish, the shape of insects. He tried to categorize and organize the world because he believed that knowledge becomes clear when we put it in order. Many scientists who came thousands of years later were shocked by how accurate Aristotle was even without modern tools or machines. His curiosity was stronger than the limits of his time. Think about this for a moment. What made Aristotle extraordinary was not magic, not power, not money. It was his love for learning. He did not hide from hard questions, he ran toward them. He explored, he tested, he failed, he tried again. This is how greatness is built. Brick by brick, idea by idea, day by day. Aristotle also believed that you become like the people you spend time with. If you spend time with people who complain, you learn to complain. If you spend time with people who dream, you learn to dream. So surround yourself with voices that make you better, not bitter. Follow content that gives you knowledge, not noise. Choose friendships that push you up, not pull you down. He taught Alexander the Great this lesson, and Alexander carried it with him while conquering the world. Remember this: if you want to be great, stay close to greatness. If you want to be wise, listen to wisdom. If you want to succeed, learn from success. You're doing that right now by listening to this story. As Aristotle grew older, he realized a powerful truth. Learning never ends. Even after knowing more than anyone around him, he still woke up curious. He still asked questions like a child. He still explored the world with wonder in his eyes. He believed that a person stops growing not when their body becomes old, but when their mind stops learning. That is why he said, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This means, listen to ideas, think about them, and then choose your own truth. Let us learn and repeat some sentences inspired by Aristotle's beliefs. I learn something new every day. I think, before I decide. I choose positive thoughts. My future is in my hands. I am growing, slowly but surely. Now let's continue the story. Aristotle became famous, not because he looked for fame, but because he looked for truth. People respected him, leaders trusted him, students admired him, but he never acted like he was better than others. He believed that everyone could learn, no matter who they are, where they are from, or how much they know. And that thought, that belief, traveled far into the future, reaching people like you and me. Even today, universities, schools, governments, and scientists still study Aristotle. His ideas helped build the world we live in right now. When you think with logic, when you work for balance, when you learn to be a good human, you are continuing Aristotle's legacy. But every life must end. And one day, Aristotle's journey came to a close. However, his ideas never died. They traveled through centuries. They guided kings and queens. They inspired inventors, explorers, and teachers. They shaped science and education. And now, today, they are inspiring you. Just imagine a young boy who once felt alone, who once lost his parents, who once walked into the world with only curiosity in his hands, change the way humans think forever. If curiosity could do that for him, what could it do for you? Part 4. Aristotle believed that every person is born with potential, like a tiny seed that can grow into a strong and beautiful tree. But a seed needs sunlight, it needs water, it needs care. And in the same way, our potential needs effort, attention, and learning. If we ignore our dreams, our potential becomes silent. But if we feed our dreams with courage and curiosity, we become unstoppable. Aristotle taught that success is not about being better than others. Success is about becoming better than the person you were yesterday. It does not matter how many steps you take every day. What matters is that you keep taking steps. Today, when you listen to this story, I want you to connect Aristotle's life to your own. He started with nothing, just questions. You also have questions. He faced loss and loneliness. Maybe you have faced that too. He refused to stop learning, and look at you, sitting here, learning English, believing in your future, trying to build a better life. You and Aristotle share the same power, the power to grow. If he could rise from small beginnings and leave a mark on the world, then why can't you? Think about this carefully. Thousands of years after Aristotle lived, we still speak his name. We still study his ideas. We still learn from his life. Greatness is not when people know you while you are alive. Greatness is when people remember you even after you are gone. And this greatness does not come from being lucky. It comes from learning, discipline, patience, and love for knowledge. This is why learning English is not small. Learning English is not just learning a language. It is opening a door to the world. It is opening a door to opportunities. It is opening a door to your future. Every word you learn takes you forward. Every sentence you understand takes you higher. And every story you listen to builds your mind stronger. Aristotle would be proud of you today. Because you are doing exactly what he taught. Never stop learning. Before we end this beautiful journey, I want you to repeat some powerful affirmations inspired by Aristotle. Repeat slowly after me. I am a learner. Knowledge is my strength. I grow a little every day. My mind creates my future. Excellence is my habit. My curiosity will take me far. I am becoming the best version of myself. So as we close this story, remember one final message. You do not need to be perfect to start. You only need to start to become perfect. Just like Aristotle. He did not wait for the perfect moment. He made every moment perfect by learning from it. Your future self will thank you for the choices you are making today. Keep learning, keep growing, keep believing. Because the world needs your ideas. The world needs your voice. And your story, your legacy, is just beginning. Thank you so much for listening to this powerful and inspiring English learning story about Aristotle, the man who changed the world with his mind. If this story taught you something new, if it made you feel stronger, if it helped you learn English, then join me again in the next episode. There are so many stories waiting for you. So many lessons that can help you become confident, fluent, and unstoppable. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed learning today. Subscribe so you don't miss our next English learning story. And comment below. What did you learn from Aristotle today? Until next time, keep learning, keep dreaming, and keep shining, just like Aristotle.